Can we give Gianna another big round of applause, please? You didn't know that you were going to hear some Elvis Presley this morning, right? Any program that starts with some Elvis, I think, is going to be a good one. Good morning and welcome to our middle school closing exercises for the 21-22 school year. We're so thrilled that you are here to join us today. It is our honor, and we are here to not only celebrate the end of a school year and the start of summer, but a really terrific Sanford class, the class of 2026, as they wrap up their 8th grade year. Let's give them a big round of applause. As we start our program, I'd like to recognize several people. Emily Amendum, our middle school head, Max Schneider, our middle school dean of students, Courtney Wilt, our counselor, and Karen Perkins, who makes the whole middle school ship run, and all of our middle school teachers. Huge thank you to all of you. Your hard work, your patience, your dedication that you've given our students this year and every year has shepherded this class and all of our classes in the middle school to today's celebration of success. This 8th grade class has had a very different middle school experience than most middle school groups that have come through Sanford over the past many years. March 2020, their 6th grade year was cut short due to COVID. They finished that year working remotely. And 7th grade brought most of those students back to campus, but wearing masks, and several students still had to work from home remotely. Then in 8th grade, normalcy began to creep back into our lives slowly. All students came back to campus, and by spring, we were able to see one another's faces. Through all the changes, pivots, shifting regulations, and weekly COVID tests, these students persevered. Rather than be upset that they couldn't go on their annual middle school trips due to COVID restrictions, they were appreciative that they could all be together. With the support of their ever-creative and patient teachers, the 8th graders, and indeed the entire middle school, worked hard to bring consistent effort to their studies. With students all over the country falling behind, it's a testament to our students and teachers that this is not the case here at Sanford. I'm grateful to our middle school community for everything you've done to make this year and the last 2 years quite positive and successful. Lastly, I'd like to thank a special group of 8th graders. This is more on a personal note. Some of you may know that our Sanford math teacher, one of our Sanford math teachers, Micah Edwards, was not able to teach this year due to family health issue. The math department divided up Micah's classes this winter, but we still needed coverage for one 8th grade algebra section. Somehow people found out that this was a course that I taught early in my career. And I offered to teach the class for the last semester of the school year. And I'm so happy that I did so. Teaching that class defined my year in many ways. Getting back into the classroom with Rowan and Gianna and Joey, Pharaoh and Abby, Matt and Trevor, Marco, Cole, Caden, Lily, NK, and Rowan. We got to work. And while I may have been a little rusty at first on my slope intercept form, adults, any of you remember that? You can swing by the Math Science building, we can talk. The 14 of us came together. We had some laughs, and we did what we needed to do. And I came to remember what I learned long ago. Algebra 1 is hard. 8th graders, there's a lesson, I think, for all of us in what I share. We don't know what life's going to throw at us, ever. We can't control what comes our way, but we can control how we respond. If we choose to work hard, be kind, and do the right thing, we're going to be more than okay. This was the theme for my algebra class this semester. It was true for middle school this year. It's been true at Sanford through the past 2 years of COVID. Indeed, it's been true at Sanford for 92 years. It's what we do. It's who we are. 8th graders, I am very proud of you. I can't wait to see what you do next, both individually and as a class. And I am excited to see how this class grows, literally and figuratively, over the next 4 years. Class of 2026 will grow come September when we welcome nearly 30 new freshmen who will be joining the group. Yes, there's a strong demand to be part of Sanford's class of 26, in part because of the quality of our current students. And I know the 8th graders on stage will embrace the newcomers with a welcoming Sanford spirit that they've known during their time on campus. If you would have told me that I'd be teaching 8th grade algebra ever again in my career, I would not have believed it. To those 13 students, I say thank you for allowing me to teach you and for reminding me why I chose to be a teacher so many years ago. Now, that was only 13 of many. So to every student on stage, I say congratulations. You have my respect and appreciation. And please join me in offering the entire group a big round of applause. Also, please join me in welcoming our first student speaker to the podium, Abby Crate.
Hello and good morning, everyone. Winnie the Pooh once said, "I always get to where I'm going by walking away from where I have been." Middle school is the perfect time to learn what is best for you socially and academically, and in the long run, falling into healthy habits. Because believe me when I say the habit of staying up until 1 a.m. to study for a test the next day would not go over well in high school. These past 4 years have looked different for every person sitting on this stage today. But either way, I can assure you that we're all going into high school with open minds. And although we may not all hope for the same outcomes in the coming years, I know we will have all the support in the world from our future and past teachers. These past years have been a roller coaster, from our grade enduring the effects of COVID to wondering if we will have the opportunity to participate in one more middle school trip. We made it through every challenge that was presented to us. I do not want to make it seem as though our grade has had the perfect past 4 years, because that could not be further from the truth. When you first enter middle school, it is common that you are told all about how the next 4 years will be a phenomenal time for you to develop as a student and as a person. And let me tell you, eventually, you get tired of hearing that. But now, as I reflect, I can say that all of the adults in my life were right. I, along with many of my fellow classmates, have changed immensely, and our teachers played an enormous role in our development. Whether it was Mrs. Lancelotti listening to us complain every time she put a proof on the board, or Mr. Rowell telling us you do not say the word hate in his classroom, our teachers have made a difference in all our lives. And you can't forget Mr. Davenport hitting Anton with a ruler when he was our sub in science. Most importantly, though, Miss Cushing taught us to never put your head through a mini basketball hoop. Yes, she knows from experience. I remember in February, Mr. Barnaby saw me struggling with a question from a quiz in science. He wrote a sticky note to me and put it on my paper. It read, "Don't overthink it." That sticky note later became taped to the inside of my Chromebook, and each time I would begin to doubt myself, I would glance down and read the note. I now have that sticky note saved at home, and I plan on putting it on my Chromebook in the same place for high school and carrying it with me. This simple note, along with many other lessons, is something that I will remember throughout high school. COVID hit at the end of our 6th grade year, and like most other grades, we have not had a completely normal school year since. Because of this, we have had to learn how to make the most of abnormal circumstances, and I believe we have done just that. Because of this, but I've learned more than just where to use a semicolon, or what units to use in science. I've learned that Robert's favorite thing to say is, "Ayo, pause," or that Cammie has a habit of saying she strongly dislikes characters in English books. And you can always count on Chai to recite the goldfish slogan in the middle of class. The people you see facing you on this stage today are not just another grade moving on to high school. They have all helped build the person I am today and have given me so much knowledge, both academic and personal. Now, this is not to say that we do not still have a lot to learn, because believe me when I say I know that there are still many lessons for myself especially to learn. And although it may feel intimidating at times to go from the oldest to being the youngest and out of our comfort zone, I know there are an endless amount of possibilities that there are to be excited for. Along with high school comes a great deal of responsibility, nevertheless an extensive amount of new opportunities. I can say for myself that I am excited about the freedom and new social openings such as clubs or the influx of new students. Just because we are parting from middle school does not mean that we will forget all the memories from the past 4 years, but that does not mean that we'll forget all the moments from the past 4 years, but that those moments will simply turn into cherished memories. And although not all of us want to admit it, there will be many aspects of middle school that will be missed next year as we move on to our next chapter. Thank you for your time, and have a happy and healthy summer.
Thank you, Abby. Good morning, parents, faculty, students. I know every single one of us here, every teacher, every family member, and every student is thrilled to be here to celebrate the class of 2026. As we move through the ceremony today, you will get just a glimpse of the many gifts and talents the students of the class will take with them as they move on to their upper school days. We will begin by asking Nina Silverman-Weeks to showcase the work of one of our 8th grade artists.
We have a tradition in the middle school where a work of art is selected by the art department to represent each grade level. The artwork then becomes part of the middle school's permanent collection. Students bestowed with this honor have worked hard in the studio and have practiced many positive artistic behaviors throughout the year. Andres Ramos' photograph entitled "Just Keep Swimming" has been selected as the 8th grade art gift to the school. Andres, would you please stand? Isn't that apropos?
A Newfound Family is the title of our second student address today, given by Jordan Perkins.
I am Jordan Perkins, and it is my pleasure to welcome my classmates, our family, and faculty to our graduation ceremony. All of you have made a significant impact on our lives, and I'm happy that you're here to share this day with us. While I feel like I've been at Sanford all of my life, since my brother graduated from here and my dad coached here, I came to Sanford just 3 short years ago. The Sanford community quickly welcomed me and made me feel like a member of the family. I had a great start to my first year. I made many new friends and enjoyed getting to know new teachers like Mr. Davenport, Miss McLeod, Miss Nightingale, and Miss Colgan, who always made me feel like I belonged. We went on a fun bonding trip to Cape May where we climbed through rope courses and did other activities that helped us learn how to trust each other. In a short time, a random bunch of 6th graders became like family, and together, we made lifelong memories. But the making of the memories didn't last as long, as the world seemingly stopped due to COVID. Sanford, as I knew it, had changed. Campus closed, we transitioned to school online, and meeting up with friends and other typical routines completely stopped. It was a hard adjustment for all of us, but thankfully, the Sanford community came together to make a very scary situation as good as it could be, given the circumstances. Sanford demonstrated why it was such a special place and a great community. Many of us began our 7th grade year continuing to learn virtually, including me. It didn't feel as bad because by that point we were all kind of used to it. I was struggling with a more serious issue than online learning. I was sick, very sick, with an incurable disease. I spent 2 months over the summer in the hospital and was then out for several more weeks for 3 different surgeries. It was probably one of the most worst experiences of my entire life. Not being able to see my brother for a couple of months and being locked up in a hospital, not able to have any visitors except my mom and dad due to COVID. It was very hard to be happy, to feel close to those who matter most to me. Trying not to cry. I was in and out of the hospital, and once I recovered, I had to spend the rest of the school year on Zoom instead of returning to campus. It was during this time that Sanford showed me again why it was such a special place. My classmates and family supported me through the storm. My friends checked in with me, as did Mr. Anderson and Miss Amendum, Miss Perkins, Miss Jumps, and Miss Colgan, and so many of my previous and current teachers. I received a poster filled with kind messages and beautiful flowers. My parents told me that many people reached out and were praying for my recovery. I will forever be grateful for the support and love I received during that time. 7th grade will always be a year to remember. In my 8th grade year, when I eventually returned to school in person, I was also supported academically. I honestly forgot how to do school. But with the help of my Sanford teachers, they provided the right help and I was able to get back on track. This year, we were still limited in the events that we could do, but we began to return to a sense of normalcy. We were able to have fun, a lot of fun, and enjoyed our time together. There were moments that will last forever, like making TikToks at the Museum of Illusions, or beating Mr. Ryle in basketball at Dave & Buster's. We also bonded over little things, like Cole and Anton, always dancing and trying to make their classmates laugh, even when it gets them in trouble. Or like when Mr. Barnaby tried to wrestle me because he thought he was stronger, which he's not, but hey, I'll give it to him because he's retiring. Through it all, I've taken away many lessons from my teachers along the way. Miss Jumps, even though you didn't name the baby after me, you have been the best advisor I could ever have asked for. You've taught me that in order to have good grades in school, you have to put in the work. In addition, Miss Swope, who has always given me the best advice, has taught me that I'm going to go through many obstacles in my life, and it's important to have someone in my life that is always willing to listen and just be there for you. And lastly, Mr. Ryle, who I don't always agree with, but always appreciate, has taught me that school is important, but it isn't everything. So don't let it control my life and instead enjoy it. To conclude, I would like to leave one last message with the class of 2026. When we get to upper school, let's continue to persevere, remember both the big and small moments, and value the relationships you are able to build with your friends and teachers. Thank you.
Thank you, Jordan. Wherever You Walk will now be performed by Alice Goodall. Blue dresses, chocolate fountains, and sliding glass doors, Something About Growth in Middle School is the title of today's final speech. It will be presented by Ada Henry.
Good morning, faculty and staff, families and friends, and the class of 2026. Thank you for being here today. Most of you probably know me, but if you don't, I'm Ada. I'm so honored to be giving this speech today, but I'm going to try to keep it short because I know most of you have places you'd rather be. As I stand here today, I can't help but think how many memories we share. Some of you I've known since I was 5. Some of you I've only known for a year. But regardless of how long we've known each other, we've all grown so much together. Dr. Seuss said, "You have your brain in your head, you have your feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose." This quote, short yet powerful, can be interpreted in so many ways. I choose to see it in this way. Although we are just at the beginning of our education path, I have learned so many things about myself and my life in the past 4 years. I started middle school wearing a blue dress, a frown, and a bad attitude. I, like all of the members of the class of 2026, have grown exponentially in my middle school years. On the first day of 5th grade, I was a little nervous. Although I only had to walk 2 minutes from the lower school to the middle school, the change still felt impossibly large. I had read plenty of books where middle school was described as some sort of horrible torture. Hours of homework, strict rules, and dress code infractions. What was there to look forward to in all of that? As it turned out, that was only the surface level of middle school. The things that older kids told us to scare us off before we even got there. On the inside, it was nothing like the terrible things I had read about. At the beginning of 8th grade, we did an assignment in English class called Windows, Mirrors, and Sliding Glass Doors. Mr. Ryle challenged us to find a character from a book that we had read over the summer to be our window, a look into a life you'd never imagined, a mirror, a reflection of yourself, and a sliding glass door. A complete change of your perspective. While middle school may not be a character in a book, I still managed to find windows, mirrors, and sliding glass doors throughout my time here. In fact, my entire experience in middle school has really been a sliding glass door. From the day I started 5th grade, scared and stubborn, to now, I have grown so much and changed my perspective on so many things. From the themes of books in Mr. Ryle's class to the inspirational quotes on Mr. Barnaby's ceiling, the life lessons I have learned this year are things I will always carry with me. While school may seem like a bunch of facts, underneath all the memorized dates and formulas, it's really quite different. And I only truly learned that in 8th grade. For the class of 2026, middle school was a little bit different. Because of COVID-19, we didn't get to go to Vermont or DC to do Poetry Coffee House or the cardboard regatta races. We missed out on so many things that Mr. Schneider was having a hard time coming up with something we did do to put in our speeches. Despite this, we made so many memories together that will last a lifetime. We persevered through Zoom school and hybrid learning, making up for games at recess with calls on Google Meet. Our middle school experience was unique from most people's, but the class of 2026 is not letting that stop them. While we missed some of the defining Sanford Middle School activities, we did so many other amazing things. From going to Colonial Williamsburg in 5th grade and eating dinner at the Golden Corral every night, to watching Romeo and Juliet a few months ago in Baltimore, the memories we'll share moving into upper school will never be forgotten. I have so many amazing memories from middle school that I had a hard time picking out some for this speech, but a few surfaced above the others. I remember how we laughed together, how everyone gorged themselves on the chocolate fountain at the Golden Corral before eating their real dinners, and how we had to do an awkward little dance in fancy colonial ballroom dances in ridiculous old costumes. The things that we learned on and off campus are things I will always remember. I remember going to Cape May in 6th grade, how I ate chocolate fudge for breakfast with my roommates, and how some kids found a horseshoe crab on the beach. I remember the huge lines of students waiting for the water slides in the hotel and eating pizza by the pool and in the bowling alley. I remember going for a walk last year in science and hunting for mushrooms in Chapel Valley and the cheers of our teammates as we crossed the finish line in cross country. I remember the tense moments in the gym this year, watching mousetrap cars squeak across the shiny gym floor. Although these memories may seem tiny and insignificant, they are the things that have shaped our lives. And there are so many amazing things about middle school that I will always remember. like listening as my American government class hummed along to the CNN 10 theme song. I will remember Mr. Minguez's iconic Welcome Back to Global Studies line from last year, and Mr. Isle's equally iconic Good Morning, I go by the name of Mr. Isle, and welcome back to your favorite class line from this one. I will miss Miss Cushing's stuffed animal chicken Carl. I will miss Mr. Pill's booklet of funny things his students have said. I will miss saying hi to Miss Perkins every morning. I will miss my chaotic but amazing advisory with Miss Nightingale. I will miss Mrs. Lancelotti's math memes. There are so many amazing things about middle school that I will remember for always as we begin our journey in the upper school. I know this has gone on for a while, and I don't want to bore anyone with my crazy feelings, so I'll just finish this up now. Throughout the past 4 years, so much has happened. Between the challenges of the pandemic lockdowns and hybrid learning, to the joys of finally being able to spend time together in 8th grade, I know I'm not only speaking for myself when I say that middle school has been a huge growth experience. Like a sliding glass door in a book, middle school has changed my perspective on life. The things we persevered through during COVID and the amazing memories we will share help make me who I am today. As I take the next step of my life into upper school, I am no longer a stubborn little girl, unwilling to try something new. Now, I am hopeful and ready as I stand here today, thoroughly a different person than I was 4 years ago. Now, I can say that I graduated 8th grade with a smile on my face and was excited once in my life for something new, 2 things unfathomable to my 5th grade self. I can say that I learned so much about myself, which 10-year-old Ada would never admit either. Even 8th grade Ada has a hard time admitting that one. I can say all of those things with full confidence in myself, but I can't say what this other quote by Dr. Seuss says best. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. And I can say how glad I am that everything in the past 4 years has happened the way it did. Thank you, and have a lovely existence.
Today's final musical performance will be sung by Liam Jezik. Liam will be singing Any Dream Will Do. Let's give one more big round of applause to all our presenters and speakers. In the next segment of our program, our faculty will recognize some of our talented 8th graders who have demonstrated specific success in each of the disciplines. Will the award presenters please come forward to present awards?
This year, the Art Award goes to a student who has developed a passion for taking photographs. She has learned to look up, down, and all around by observing the world from different perspectives. This student practices the craft of taking photographs every day, with one theme idea leading to another. She has been known to ask her father to pull over while driving to and from school so that she can capture the colors of the sunrise, a sunset, or was captivated by the eerie glow of traffic lights in the rain. She is, by definition, a creative. It is my pleasure to present Maddie Wilson with the 2022 Art Award. I didn't get a picture this morning.
The Band Award is presented to an outstanding member of the Sanford performing arts community. This person demonstrates a great deal of musical ability and aptitude and excels in both instrumental and vocal music. I've appreciated their contributions to the band and was particularly impressed when I was approached and asked for music that would present a greater challenge. When I provided opportunities for this person to expand their musical experiences through upgraded music and even an instrument switch, this person immediately and enthusiastically took to the challenge. This person also represented Sanford at the Delaware All-State Junior Honors Band this past spring, and I have no doubt that future musical awards and honors will follow. I have very much enjoyed working with this student and commend their drive and their dedication to musical growth. I'm very proud to present this award to Alice Goodall. Congratulations, Alice.
Good morning. The recipient of our course award is someone who has found a good standing in the Performing Arts Department. She is a strong, solid member of our ensemble and brought talent and excellent rehearsal etiquette to each rehearsal. She is a kind student, thoughtful, and hardworking. I can count on her to make good choices in any class and consider myself fortunate to have had the opportunity to work with her for over a decade when she first appeared in The Sound of Music when she was 4. Our recipient is Charlie Harris.
The recipient of the Performing Arts Drama Award is given to a young thespian who has found his light in the performing arts. This student goes above and beyond what is asked of him and has a wonderful work ethic. This student does a wonderful job of representing the Sanford community on stage, in our musical ensembles, on the athletic field, and in his academics. His enthusiasm during our COVID musical review last year was infectious, and it was a joy to see him light up on stage during Cinderella this year. Congratulations to this year's recipient, a young actor with so much talent and promise, Liam Jezik.
This year's English Award recipient demonstrated a true passion for the subject throughout the school year. She understands how transformative reading can be, and she uses her writing as a tool to further express herself and understand the world around her. This student displayed her leadership in our class discussions, often leading a thought-provoking debate without speaking over or belittling others' voices. This student also excelled outside of the classroom, earning one of the highest honors nationwide for her fiction writing. It was an absolute pleasure to teach and learn with this student this year. Please join me in congratulating Ada Henry.
Bonjour à tous. Chaque année, le prix de français est attribué à un élève qui a démontré un intérêt prononcé pour la langue et la culture française. Cet élève est récompensé pour son engagement dans l'apprentissage du français. C'est avec grand plaisir que je remets le prix de cette année à Donovan Hendricks.
Just in case not everyone has a background in ancient languages, this one's for Latin. Premium Latinam quae sanitatur discipulae quae cum constantia studio quae disciplinam Latinam accerit. Fortem intellectum verborum atque grammatica Latina habet, and in ludo saepe sermones de fabilis duxit. Maxime quorumcunque homines de fabilis contra mores hominum odiernorum agebant. Haca no premium Latinum datur egregiae garrulaeque discipliae, Alice Goodall.
The recipient of the Mathematics Award goes to a talented and very determined mathematician. This student was actively engaged and always strived to do his very best. He is a natural-born problem solver who never shied away from a challenge. In class, he would ask insightful questions and enjoyed discussing the reasoning behind a concept. He does not accept an idea at face value alone. He works diligently to truly grasp the mathematics presented to him. I always enjoyed our mathematical conversations in class. This year's Mathematics Award goes to Caden Butcher.
The Science Award recognizes an independent thinker with the creative flair of an artist. This imaginative person is an innovative problem solver and a natural biologist in their personal life. This student consistently demonstrates that learning and personal integrity are more important than a final grade. In addition, this humble recipient could possibly become the Jane Goodall of herpetology. I'm proud to announce that this year's Science Award goes to a fellow frog lover, Gabby Gandia.
The recipient of the Social Studies Award is a student who has a genuine love for American government. This young historian strives to come to a better understanding of the past and its relation to the present and future. His consistent thirst for more knowledge and inquisitive nature during the National History Day process demonstrates his love for the subject. For passion and persistence in the field of history and a commendable attitude, the Social Studies Award is presented to Cooper Grundner.
Tengo el honor de presentar el Premio de Español este año a una estudiante que tiene gran pasión por el idioma y las culturas hispanas. Esta estudiante siempre es positiva, trabajadora, sincera y una ciudadana ejemplar en la clase. Este año, el Premio de Español es otorgado a Cecilia Bittersley.
This year's Middle School Girls Athlete Award recipient is a quiet leader who always strives for improvement. She takes feedback and immediately incorporates it into her play, making her easy to coach. Her natural talent and passion were evident in her performances on the volleyball and basketball courts and the upper school soccer field. The middle school coaches are proud to present this year's Middle School Girls Athletes Award to Lauren Kedash.
The recipient of the Boys Athletic Award was described by his coaches in these ways. He has a humility about his play that allows him to make the hard look easy. In addition, he takes every practice rep with the focus and intensity needed to improve not only himself, but his teammates as well. He always comes to practice prepared and never makes excuses. He is very coachable and demonstrates that he is able to adapt to any position which the team needs him to play. He is extremely reliable. The Boys Award goes to Tanner Murray.
The recipient of the Citizenship Award goes to a student who completely immerses herself in the arts, athletics, leadership, and academics. She has a unique ability to excel in everything while remaining thoughtful and compassionate to her peers and teachers. This year's award is presented to a student who truly allows no talent lies latent. This year's Citizenship Award goes to Cecilia Bittersley.
First Service Award. This first of the year's Service Award recipient is a model for how to serve the Sanford community. When there is a call for help, he's the first to volunteer. He spends time before and after school helping teachers and coaches. Outside of Sanford, he is involved in scouting. For his truly cheerful service the last few years and the many ways he contributes to the Sanford Middle School community, it is my pleasure to present the Service Award to Mason Helmenke.
This year's second Service Award recipient is a community leader who knows the meaning of service. This student made service a key goal for Student Council this year while spearheading a tremendously successful coat drive in the fall and a toiletry drive in the spring. In addition, this student always remembered thoughtful ways to show the Student Council's appreciation for the student body. For her service to the Sanford Middle School community, it is my pleasure to present this Service Award to Cammie Ofer.
The Evergreen Award is presented to a student who has demonstrated persistent growth and skill development throughout their time in the Sanford Middle School. The recipient is a contributing member to many aspects of community life, is respectful towards all community members, abides by the honor code, and always represents Sanford School well. This year, the recipient of the Evergreen Award is Cooper Grunner.
The Academic Achievement Award is presented this year to someone who excelled in all disciplines. Their success was marked by intellectual curiosity, kindness when working with others, and a love for learning. No matter what the assignment was, this person embraced every aspect of their education at Sanford, demonstrating a genuine appreciation for their school and respect for the classroom environment. I am very pleased and honored to present the 2022 Academic Achievement Award to Grace Porter.
Hey 90 Advisory, not only do we win at sportsmanship, we win at awards, and this is no exception. I'm proud of you guys. I just got myself teary, sorry. I'm really good at that. All right, this Sanford Award is presented to a student who excels athletically in the classroom and leads classmates through actions and deeds. This student feels the pulse of the school and consistently demonstrates spirit, pride, respect, and love for Sanford School. Interacting with respect to students and faculty alike, this student volunteers tirelessly for the good of the school. This year's recipient of the Sanford Award is my advisee, Abby Crape.
Okay. Friday, we had a great day, great weather, lots of good competition. What? It was a lot of fun. Everybody participated to the best of their ability. They did a great job. We had lots of good fun and competition. The winner of this year's field day for the 4th straight year.
All right. On this day, we celebrate this wonderful group of students on the stage. Students, when I announce your name, please stand and walk to Mr. Anderson to receive your certificate. We also ask that parents and family members stand when the name of your student is called so that you too can be recognized. Dominic Amir. Isabella Atwood. Rowan Avatara. Cecilia Binnersley. Caden Butcher. Jonas Kadungug. Abigail Cantagallo. Kelsey Conway. Liliana Cooper. Heaven Dada. Giuseppe Diabaldo. Rowan Doyle. Emily Everhart. Gabriela Gandia. Marco John Croce. Alice Goodall. Cooper Brunner. Charlie Harris. Mason Helmecki. Donovan Hendricks. Ada Henry. Zachary Hopkins. McKinley Jefferson. Liam Jezik. Lauren Kedash. Miles Kedash. Reese Keller. Matthew Kopp. Abigail Crape. Ethan Lucky. Pharaoh McNeil. Gianna Maloro. Tanner Murray. Nkachinyere Njoku. Camille Over. Delaney Patterson. Chaya Pfeiffer. Jordan Perkins. Grace Porter. Andres Ramos. Valentina Ramos. Graham Raymond. Cole Ruland. Emily Shipley. Susie Shipley. Anton Stackow. Arthur Strauss. Abigail Tomeo. Ava Tucker. Robert Vella. Anjali Viswanathan. Caden Walters. Jana Washington. Trevor Webster. Charles Wilkinson. Madeline Wilson. Adam Zolper. And let's give one round of applause for all these eighth graders. The middle school has a tradition where a faculty member is elected by the eighth grade to deliver the final words of wisdom to the class. This year, the class of 2026 has asked Bruce Pill to impart his last words to the class. Bruce's address is entitled, "The Best Gift."
Thank you, Mr. Anderson, Mrs. Amendum, faculty, and eighth grade class for the opportunity to speak at closing exercises at Sanford School for the year 2021 to 2022. I also want to thank Mr. Barnaby for listening to my ideas and I kept bouncing off of him, and for saying, hey, just have fun and you can say anything you want. So I was thinking about what to speak on. I have my book, and you heard reference of it earlier during our ceremony here. The fun things that happen in my classroom. So, I could have said something about Pharaoh. Where are you, Pharaoh? There you are. When adding fractions, it's important to find a denominator. Or when I had four of these guys, Dino, Liam, Cooper, and Jonas come up to me, all excited. They're looking at a math book and say, "Mr. Pill, what is a hypotenuse?" But if I go into that book, I'd probably be here for about an hour. I've spoken in front of audiences before and learned that using an acronym is a good way to organize one's thoughts and to help the audience remember the speech. Since Emily told me that I have about 25 minutes, I chose Ticonderoga as my acronym for the best gift. It's not 25. 5? About 5 minutes. So, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go 5 and a little bit more. New acronym, GIFT, G-I-F-T. 4 letters. Proportionally, that will make the talk about 7 to 8 minutes. I was thinking about what is the key to happiness when I was walking up the stairs in the middle school one day. And I was going to Mrs. Perkins' office, one of my favorite things to do. When I entered her room, it dawned on me. The key to happiness is making someone happy, because that's something that she does really well. So I started pondering this, and I thought, okay, making someone happy is giving of yourself. It is a gift, the best gift you can give. Though a Ticonderoga pencil is a close second. I have to leave that here. It's like my security blanket, you know? Makes me calm when I'm a little nervous. So let's start with G. G stands for give. Give of yourself. When you do something for someone, you are giving something of yourself. Not money, not things, but yourself. It comes from the heart. I've taught at Sanford for 23 years. What struck me from day one was how kind and inviting the atmosphere was. The teachers, administrators, the students, all were accepting of me for who I was, which I loved. I found a place where I could be me. How did this happen? It was the culture of the school. It was not taught, but modeled. People giving of themselves. I stands for eyes. I can do that. I'm a math teacher. Parents, think back when these 8th graders were little. They give you a gift. Maybe a drawing of a house with a dog and a play set in the yard. To you, you have no idea what it is. You look at the drawing, then you look back at your child. You see the eyes looking for your reaction. They're looking at your eyes. You say, I love it, looking back at their eyes. F. F stands for freely. Freely expecting nothing in return. It is given from the heart. You can't put a price on it. The value is immeasurable. The happiness comes from knowing you did something to make someone happy or just in helping when help was needed. What does that look like? Helping set up a field day, helping clean up after an activity, help gather equipment after a practice or a game, helping your mom or dad bring in the groceries, yard work, clean the house, volunteer at a camp, help a neighbor who may be needing help. Which leads to time. Time is a gift we all have. How we use it is important. I think back to all the teachers who took the time to help me. It was their gift they gave freely. I think of Mr. Siebert. He was my 5th grade teacher and also varsity soccer coach. He constantly comes back into my mind when I was teaching. Gave me a lot of time. On Fridays, Friday afternoon, at the end of the day, at the end of the week, Mr. Siebert had sports club. You can stay after school and we can go bowling, or we can play mini golf, or we can go outside and play soccer or kickball or softball. He gave up that time right at the end of the week when a lot of people are running home to start the weekend. He gave up that time for his students and his students responded very positively to that. Not only as having fun, but academically, as people, because here's a guy who truly cared. Mr. Erickson, my English teacher in high school. Now, they all know I'm a math teacher, and I kind of make up words, kind of like Pharaoh made up denominator. I make up words. Sometimes it just pop into my mind. English did not come easy to me. Mr. Erickson took the time to meet with me before school, after school, to help me learn how to write an essay, right? I worked hard at it. And finally, I was so ecstatic when I reached a C on an essay. I was overjoyed. To me, that was a huge accomplishment. Thank you to Mr. Erickson, which then helped me later on when I ended up going to college, because I knew how to write. Their gift was time. So how can you give your time? Time you spend with a brother and a sister. How about a grandparent? How about a neighbor? How about the elderly? These are different things that I've seen many of you give of yourselves already, which is awesome. Volunteering at a pet shelter, a YMCA, cleaning up a river or stream, doing active service. There are so many ways you can give the gift. You will make others happy, who will then make others happy, who will make you happy, and so on and so on. It's catchy. So let's recap. G, give of yourself. Eyes are so important for both the giver and the receiver. F, freely give, expecting nothing in return. T, time, give your time thinking of others. Now I'm going out on a limb here, 8th graders. I need your help. And you're going to help me enthusiastically. You've been on the receiving end of giving. There's something that you can do even though the gift was given freely. Audience, if you were a teacher or on staff at Sanford of any student on stage, please stand and stay standing. If you are a parent or a relative, that includes brothers or sisters, please stand. Parent or a relative, brother, sister, grandparent, uncle, aunt. If you are a friend of anybody on stage here, please stand up. So almost everybody should be standing by now. It's pretty amazing, right, when you look at that. 8th graders, they all gave of themselves to you. Return a gift of a loud Sanford thank you on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
You may be seated. It's a little worried there. You guys did well. So at the end of a lot of faculty meetings and talks that are given, Mr. Anderson, this is one thing I love that you do, ends with a quote or a saying or a passage from a book. So I looked all through my pre-algebra, algebra books, looking for that quote, looking for that one equation that said it all. And I didn't find it. So I found one. The best gift written by a mathematician. What is the best gift? Though there may be many approaches to solve the problem, you may think the answers are infinite or maybe undefined. You have to factor in the multiple variables that are involved. You will find that the results are exponential. When you add all that you do, you will find the product is happiness. H plus H plus H plus H is 4H. Product, got it? The equation you use to find the unknown is not difficult. Look for the expression on the others and you will see the solution. Your actions will come full circle with an occasional tangent. Bottom line, there is one solution, one common denominator. What is the best gift? You. Thank you.
All right, we're almost there. So typically my job at closing exercises is to act as the MC, to move things along. But as this ceremony has approached, I've been thinking a lot about this class. And a lot of the speakers have touched upon the fact that their experience in the middle school has been impacted by COVID. In fact, their only typical middle school year was 5th grade. And I've been thinking about that. And one of the biggest impacts that they've experienced is the cancellation of a lot of the activities and events and opportunities that our middle school students typically get. They've been forced to opt out of a lot. And I've been thinking about that. One of the things that I love most about Sanford is that there's a path for everyone and that we want each one of you to find the path that is right for you. We want you to find a path that appeals to your passions, your talents, your interests, and your gifts. To find that path, you have to try out new things. So as you move to the upper school, carry with you this message. Push yourself, challenge yourself, try new things. Try out that class that's a little bit of a stretch. Try out that drawing elective, even if you're not good at drawing, that's what a drawing class is for. Try out for the sports team or the musical, even if you have friends who are trying out who you think are better than you are. Take advantage of the experiences, engage in the experiences that your parents, your teachers, your coaches, your school are giving to you. Opt in, because that's the only way you're gonna find the path that is just right for you, and that's what your time in the upper school should be all about. All right. After the 8th grade recesses and the ceremony concludes, summer will officially begin. Would everyone please stand as we dismiss the class of 2026 as 8th graders for one last time.